Welcome back to the Bob Harden Show. And now here's your host, Bob Harden.
Thanks so much for joining us here on the show. It's brought to you in part by Gulf Shore Playhouse, changing lives through exceptional theater experiences and now doing it in a new performing arts and education center in downtown Naples at the corner of Goodlett Frank and 41. Just absolutely beautiful, architecturally wonderful building, and also putting on great performances. You can find out more and get tickets by visiting the very robust website, gulfshoreplayhouse.org. Coming up, going to be visiting with Professor Larry Bell, endowed professor at the University of Houston in space architecture. Right now we have with us Clerk Crystal Kinzel. She is the Clerk of Courts in Collier County. Clerk Kinzel, thank you so much for joining us here on the show.
Thank you, Bob, for having us.
Always a pleasure. Maybe you could tell us about the duties and what you do at Collier County as Clerk of Courts.
Well, as you know, but I'll remind your listeners, the Clerk of Courts has about 1,000 statutory requirements and duties. 3 primary roles. We're the comptroller for all of Collier County government, and we are also the keeper of all of the property records for everyone in Collier County. All the deeds and information that has to be publicly recorded, that's under the Clerk of Courts. And then we also are Clerk of the Courts, so we keep all of the court records. And we're Clerk to the Board of County Commissioners and Clerk to the Court.
A big job, and just so grateful for the work that you're doing, Clerk Kinzel.
Thank you.
You have sponsored a big event on Valentine's Day. It's either a wedding or a renewal of vows. Are there any openings for it? And maybe you could tell us about it.
Oh, good. Thank you for asking. This will be our 5th year. This is one of the great things that we do for the community. I have, while you say I sponsor, I will tell you we could not do it without our community sponsors. We're very fortunate that they contribute so we don't cause the taxpayer extra costs. But we're going to have a ceremony down at Baker Park in the city. You do have to pre-register, sign up so that we know who's coming. But we will do a nude marriages. We have about 14 weddings that will happen. We do them all together. And then we have about 25 couples that are doing vow renewals. And one of our couples comes back. It's their 5th year. They're in their 80s. We have so much fun, but there's room for more. So, and again, just to mention our sponsors, we're very lucky. We have a wedding cake and we have a photographer, and they all donate. And then we have things from the Botanical Gardens and the Naples Princess and other local vendors that have just helped us out to make it a really special day for anyone participating.
That's just fantastic. So how do people enroll? How do they find out more? What can they do?
If you go online at collierclerk.com and look in events and click on the weddings, it will walk you exactly through how to register.
collierclerk.com, again, is the website. You know, changing topics, the Golden Gate Public Golf Course, it's been in the works for I don't know how long. It seems like a decade or more, but nevertheless, it was going to be an 18-horse. That's where the Best Western was back in the day, but it was going to be an 18-hole course, then 14-hole course, and there have been so many changes. Can you bring us up to date? What's going on?
Well, we don't have any golf holes yet, but we have finally seen some activity on that. And you're right, we have had that property since 2018. The county paid about $29 million to acquire it, and we were waiting. So finally, just in the last couple of months, we've seen shovels turn on the affordable housing component that is down at the south end of the parcel. We're waiting on approval for the Veterans Facility. That still has not come to with federal government, not in a final way. And there is still a plan, not yet really developed much, for the golf holes and course. And there's a contract from the county with actually Arthrex. They are going to build a restaurant and golf course and facilities there. Also to mention, we just in Golden Gate had a groundbreaking for a private effort on that parcel, not owned by the county, but they took the old hotel that you're mentioning, and they're redeveloping the larger portion into apartments. So that will be more housing available to local workers.
Now, is that going to be affordable? In other words, is it going to be worker housing, affordable housing? How's that going to work?
Well, the private is actually market rate, but they are a little bit less. Their efficiencies, and it's a new concept for building for young workers or just couples without children. It will have amenities, and because it's private, they'll contribute on a tax base and some other things that you don't get the benefit of if you have a contract with the nonprofit, which is at the south end of the park. So it's a little bit different on return to the taxpayer versus spending for the taxpayer.
Yeah.
And I always prefer to benefit the taxpayer, as you know.
Absolutely. Well, of course, now the it's so expensive to play golf here in Collier County, and the $150 for a round during season or more. And this, I think, what we're holding out here is the opportunity for people to be able to play at a public venue, this public course, and at a lower cost of less than $100 for 18 holes. Do I have that right?
Yes, we have not reached the final dollar amount, but they're in the contract with Arthrex. There will be requirements for public ability to play, and it will be a reduced rate for a market golf.
And for
So there will be a
Collier
local
County,
discount.
and for Collier County citizens as well.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, that's great. So before I let you go, can you make any comments at all how we're doing fiscally here in Collier County? How's the...
Well, we're great. If your listeners would like to sign up for a newsletter, we had another boom quarter for interest as the interest rates hopefully will go down, and that be a benefit to those of us that pay interest. It is a very good market right now and has been for the last couple of years on our interest level. So for the first quarter, we have another record that we set from last year. We broke it. So we're hoping to continue with the investment program that we have and be able to maximize the return on the taxpayers' dollars. So Collier County is still healthy. Look for our financial statements. We'll probably be on the Board of County Commissioners meeting, the last meeting, and our external auditors will give you an even better update and an update for our public.
Great information, Clerk Kinzel. How can we find out more, get more information?
CollierClerk.com.
Clerk.
We try to put everything on the website for our public so that they can learn about the county, the budget, anything they need to know. And could I mention just one other thing,
Sure.
Bob, that we're doing?
Of course.
I have a Lunch and Learn series that we're doing, and it really is a standalone. We're doing it 3 times during season. So our next event will be February at Orange Blossom Library from 11:30 to 1:30, and then we'll do it again March 19th. So if they can't make the February, March is the same program, and it is to tell people either how to buy, sell, exchange property. We'll have some fraud information. We'll have information on insurance, what's going on in Florida, how they can maybe benefit from that. And great partnership with Jim York, you may know, from Downing Fry. And it's not a sales pitch of property. It's not selling anything. It's truly public information that, again, we have a private partner that helps pay for the lunches, and we try to provide the taxpayer all the good information.
Outstanding. And what was the date in February for that event?
February 19th. And it's going to be at the Orange Blossom Library off of Airport Road, and it'll be in the theater at the library.
Wonderful. Clerk Crystal Kinzel, again, Clerk of Courts here in Collier County. Just really appreciate your commentary. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us, Bob, as always.
My pleasure indeed. All right, coming up, we're going to visit with Larry Bell, endowed professor at the University of Houston, Space Architecture. That and more right here on The Bob Harden Show on the Bob Harden Broadcasting Network.
Stay tuned for more of the Bob Harden Show here on the Bob Harden Broadcasting Network.